All right, all right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to ACE's Lunar New Year celebration. My name is Brandon Castillo. I am the newly elected president of ACE, otherwise known as the Asian American Association for City Employees. Personally, I grew up in Sherman, Texas, between two large hospitals, because wherever there are large hospitals, you will find Filipinos. In Sherman, my only exposure to the Chinese culture was at Gourmet China on Texoma Parkway, the only Eastern restaurant in town at the time. I loved the beef broccoli and the Chinese zodiac pictures on the paper placemats. You may be familiar from other Chinese restaurants. I would later come to understand that the lunar calendar is completely different from the one we're used to in the West. Our calendar, January, February, March, February, etc., it's created by Julius Caesar 2,000 years ago, is based on the movement of the sun, and specializes in tax collection. I learned that in the East Asian lunar calendar, like many others around the world, is at least 4,000 years old, is based on the movement of the moon, and does not start on the same day every year, which makes tax collection a little bit more difficult. While most lunar calendar cultures have adopted the Gregorian calendar or the Western calendar for daily civic use, they still retain the traditional calendar for festivals, cultural practices, and zodiac-based customs. For example, even though our daughters were born on the same, a few weeks apart, my best friend wouldn't let me see his newborn until her moon day, which is the first full moon after 30 days of life, a tradition that dates back to when infant mortality within the first month of life was a major issue. In a lunar calendar, the 11th month of the year must contain the winter solstice, or the day with the least amount of daylight. So the Lunar New Year in China typically takes place on the second new moon after the winter solstice, if you can do that math. The celebration lasts for 15 days, culminating in the Lantern Festival, when people light lanterns to guide spirits home, eat good food, and dance. Another cultural difference between West and East can be examined through our zodiac systems. Both feature 12 signs or creatures, but Western zodiac is defined by a 12-month period, as opposed to the Chinese zodiac, which cycles every 12 years. So in the West, we tend to identify by our birth month. I was born in December, so I would be Sagittarius, as would everyone born 12 months before and 12 months after me. In China, people tend to identify with their birth year instead. For example, I was born in 1981, known as the year of the rooster, which would be the sign of those born 12 years before and 12 years after me. So this year, we are celebrating the year of the snake. In Eastern tradition, people born in the year of the snake are said to have many positive qualities: resilient, intelligent, creative, who are natural leaders. On the other side of the coin, they may come off as inauthentic and a bit of a show-off. The snake is often associated with the element of fire, which signifies passion, energy, and transformation. If you're interested in your zodiac sign, feel free to visit the ACE table over here for more information. But we have a really exciting program for you all today. We will have a live pipa performance. Pipa is a traditional stringed instrument. A face-changing act from the Sichuan opera tradition. And also the Dallas Zoo will be sharing some interesting facts about snakes. And we're also hosting a craft table over here for you to enjoy, in addition to Yan Art Studio, which has set up a calligraphy booth over here, where you can get your name written in Chinese or some blessing words as well. One last thing before I introduce our keynote speaker: ACE is recruiting new members to our organization. If you don't have to be of Asian descent to become a member, but if you enjoy our events or if you want to support what we do, feel free to sign up for a membership at our table. Dues are a $1 contribution every pay period, pre-tax. Our new Director of Planning and Development, Emily Liu, was educated at Peking University and finished her master's in urban and regional planning at George Washington University. She joins us after over a decade of experience in Louisville, Kentucky's Metro Planning and Design Services. And so please give a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Emily Liu.
Thank you, Brendan. Look like I have some fans out there. Come on, it's celebration. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. It is truly a joy to be here with you as we come together to celebrate Lunar New Year. Does everybody know this is a tradition that holds deep cultural significance for over 2 billion people around the world? Yes, 2 billion people. Lunar New Year is more than just turning the calendar. It is a powerful reminder of the values that unite us: family, gratitude, and new beginnings. No matter where you are in the world, this celebration brings us together, encouraging us to cherish our loved ones, honor our heritage, and embrace the opportunities of a fresh new start. Each year in the lunar calendar is represented by a zodiac animal that was already discussed by Brendan. This year, we welcome the year of the wood snake, a symbol of renewal, growth, and transformation. If you are 12, anybody? I see a little kid here. 24, anyone? 24? How about 36? Oh, great, well, at least one. 48, 60, and so on. You were likely born in the year of the snake, also known as little dragon. So if you heard somebody say about little dragon, that's just snake. Growing up in China, I remember the excitement leading up to the new year. Our home will be decorated with red lanterns, some of those seen here, spring festival couplets, and window grills. Children would dress in new clothes, brand new clothes inside out. Fireworks will light up the night sky, and parade will fill the streets. And also, food play a central role in the celebrations, a big role. Dumplings symbolize wealth, fish represent prosperity, and sweet rice cakes signify growth. How can you imagine that? But anyway, those are the must-have for the family reunion dinner. One of my fondest memories is receiving 红包. 红包 means red envelopes. Actually, I have a couple of examples today, and I'm going to give them out by the end of my speech. So pay attention. So these red envelopes, they're usually from parents, my parents, grandparents, relatives, and even neighbors. These are actually our spare money for the year, most likely. These envelopes filled with lucky money were a highlight of celebration for kids. That is our highlight. We're looking forward to it because we get red envelope with money in it. My mother, who had friends at the bank, always managed to get the brand new bills with consecutive numbers. Can you imagine the brand new bill like 2001, 2002, 2000, brand new? Nobody have ever touched it except probably the teller. She always managed to get those brand new bills and stuff them in a red envelope, give me and my sister. I treasure them so much that I didn't want to spend them at all. That's the only problem. I don't want to trade that brand new money for anything else in the world, so I ended up saving them. So looking back, I realized this was my mother's way of teaching me the value of saving money. Sometimes it's hard to resist something all the other kids have, I don't have, because I don't want to trade my money. So it's a habit that has stayed with me to this very day. It's a good habit, I tell you. Saving is always a good habit. Lunar New Year is also a time to honor our ancestors, reflect on the past, and embrace the future. But beyond tradition, it is about community. Here in Dallas, I have seen people of all backgrounds come together to celebrate, demonstrating that the spirit of New Year extends far beyond any one culture. Just look at this room. We're from all different backgrounds, different trade, different age, different culture. Today, in City Hall, this building that was built by one of the most celebrated Asian American, I am Pei. I'm so fortunate, he's my idol. I'm so lucky to work in a building that is designed by my idol. In the City Hall, we stand united in celebration, no matter what our backgrounds are, no matter what our cultures are, no matter where we are from. As we welcome the year of the snake, let's embrace its message: renewal, growth, transformation. Let's take this opportunity to reflect on our journeys, cherish those around me. I want to give all of you a hug, and step forward with courage and kindness. Because no matter how we celebrate, what our cultures are, what our backgrounds are, Lunar New Year remind us each new beginning holds endless possibilities. Once again, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. May this year bring you happiness, success, and above all, good health. 新年快乐，万事如意. Happy New Year to you all. I do have 2 envelopes to give out. I'm going to give out to the 2 youngest ones in this room. And I want you to know, these are not the brand new money. So go and spend them, help the economy. All right, I have the youngest one. You can get a lucky envelope. I have one more. Whoever the next youngest one, do we have anyone under the age of 18? Anyone? How about 19? Anyone 19 years old working for the state of Dallas? You're gonna get an envelope with money, lucky money. How about 20? 21? 22? Who is 21? Do we have a 21? Who is 19? Come over here, you have to come here to get it. Oh. Congratulations, good luck. New beginning, new year. You have such a great future ahead of you. I'm 60 years old, so 19, wow. I wish I was. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
All right. Thank you, Emily, so much. Thank you very much. Next up, we are going to have a presentation by Taylor from the Dallas Zoo.
Hello, how is everybody? Doing good today? Cool, cool. My presentation's over there, so I might go back and forth. Or I'm just gonna try and use my teacher voice and project. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, can you guys hear me? Cool. So a little bit about me and why I'm here to talk to you today. My name's Taylor. I am a senior conservation interpreter at the Dallas Zoo. Oh, beautiful. I don't have to yell. Okay. So I'm a conservation interpreter at the Dallas Zoo, and that is kind of fancy lingo for zoo educator. So I spend most of my day at the park educating children, adults, senior citizens, families, anybody that comes to the zoo about our animals, the conservation efforts that we're doing, anything under the sun. So that's these pictures here on the left that you can see. On the right side there is me and my several pets. I have a pet snake, so that's her. This is Callie. And that's my horse Dylan, my dog Rosie, and I have 2 sulcata tortoises, Lightning and Indy. So hopefully you feel like I am well represented to talk to you about snakes today. So I'm going to break it down. We're not going to talk about like snakes in general. That would be too much to cover in the amount of time. So I'm going to break it down to snakes here in North Texas. We're coming into the warmer season. The snakes are going to start coming back out. You might start to see them more. So let's learn to identify them and what to do if you see one just here. So Texas has the most eco-regions of any state in the U.S. Due to our size, there's 10 of them. We're located in the Blackland Prairies, and Fort Worth is located in the Cross Timbers. So here's your Blackland Prairie, and then there's your Cross Timbers at the bottom. So in Texas, there are 15 species of venomous snake. There's over 100 species of non-venomous snake. Now, I also want to point out too, does anybody know the difference between poisonous and venomous? Anyone? So I'll teach you a little catchphrase, okay? Poison is ingested, venom is injected. So there is no such thing as a poisonous snake. They don't exist. They're all venomous if they're going to bite, so they have to bite you. Whereas a poisonous frog, you have to eat it, right? So there's several snakes on this slide. I'm going to point to a couple of them, and if anybody thinks they know what type of snake it is, you can just shout it out and let me know. Does anybody know this guy? Yes, that's a coral. What about this guy? It's some type of rattlesnake, yep. What about this guy? Corn snake, king snake. This is a scarlet king snake. What about that next one, that green one? Garden's a good guess. It's actually a smooth green snake. Does anybody know this guy? Copperhead. How about the one next to him? Cottonmouth, yep, otherwise known as a water moccasin. What about, does that have a laser? The next one. I think I heard it. It's a garter snake. The next one? King snake's a good guess. Rat snake's also a good guess. Keep going. Black mamba. I guess that snake is the most commonly confused for a water moccasin. That is a water snake. Simple as that. There's a couple of different types, but that's just a water snake. This guy here, hopefully is the most identifiable. This is a rattlesnake. So the difference between this guy and this is a western diamondback rattlesnake. This is the largest rattlesnake in the world, and it is native anywhere west of the Mississippi River. So they're the largest. They have a zebra stripe tail. Our timber rattler is going to have a black tail, and they're native mostly in like the northeastern parts of Texas, so here and northeast of that. This guy, this is a hognose. Yeah, good job. And then the next one, a snake. Yes, good job. That's a rat snake. So rat snakes, they have a little mask. They look like little raccoons. And then the next one is one of my personal favorite snakes. Anybody recognize that one? No? Ready? It's a ring-necked snake. Pretty easy, but they have red bellies. So this guy here, if you hadn't picked up on it, the left side of the screen is going to be some of the venomous snakes found here in Texas. The right side of the screen is some of the non-venomous snakes, with the exception to this guy. So hognose is what we call a rear-fanged snake, which means that the fangs are in the back of its mouth. So if it were to bite you, odds are those fangs are not going to penetrate your skin. They also have a venom that is only toxic to amphibians, which is what they eat. So a lot of people actually have hognose as pets. If you ever come across a hognose, they're going to play dead. They're going to roll over, stick their tongue out, and hold their mouth open and act dead. And that's how they keep things from eating them. But those are some of the ways to tell a hognose. Again, not really dangerous to people, but technically a venomous snake. Well, okay. So what to do if you have a snake encounter. Okay? Like I said, we're getting into the warmer season. Snakes are going to start coming out more and more. So I'm going to hopefully help you build your confidence. Hopefully I'm eliminating some fear as well. That's one of the biggest things that I like doing with snakes, is eliminating some of the fear that's out there. So snake encounters. These are pictures of places that you might run across a snake. So if you have any of this in your yard, in your space, pools, those are places that snakes are going to be hiding or might be found. So if you're deciding, oh, I'm going to go and move all these bricks, maybe check it out first, right? Move one at a time. Keep your hands on the tops of the bricks. Don't reach under or into anything that you can't directly see into. Shine a light, kind of make a bunch of noise beforehand. When it comes to a pool, check the lip of your pool all the way around. Some of those water snakes will kind of find the way to get in there, and odds are they can't get out. So you can use these handy dandy pool nets, pool broom, anything you have to clean your pool to help them out of the pool. Any kind of debris piles, old sheds, things of that nature are all going to be places where snakes are found. Anywhere that's warm as well. If you have a rock area in your yard instead of like grass and you have a bunch of rocks, they're going to be found like sunbathing on those rocks too. So the first thing, stay calm. And then just back up a little bit. Okay? They're not here to hurt you. They're not going to chase you. They're not going to bite you just because they can. They are very conservative with their energy. So if you just back up and give them some space, they'll leave you alone. The next thing is identify it. So we're going to go over a couple of things on the next slide of how to help you guys learn how to identify snakes. But if you can identify what it is, then you can either call for help with accurate information or handle it yourself, depending on the type of snake. Okay. So they may give a threat display. Non-venomous and venomous snakes all have threat displays. It could include flattening out, making them look bigger than they appear. Rattlesnake's going to rattle that tail. They might open their mouth. That's what cottonmouths do. They have a big white mouth. They're going to open it to try to make it look really big. They might secrete a fluid or a smell called musk. It's real nasty. So those are all the things. Those are normal. The snake is still just defending itself. That's all it's trying to do, is get you to leave it alone. Leave it be. That's the best thing that you can do, especially if it's outside. Just, the snake knows now that it's been found. Walk away for 10, 20, 30, an hour, come back, and I guarantee the snake will be gone, because they now know that they've been discovered. And it also can be illegal to harm certain snakes in the state of Texas, so make sure that if you are the person that says a good snake is a dead snake, make sure that it's not one of those snakes that can get you in trouble if you follow that method. I hope you don't, though. Remove it. So this is strictly only if non-venomous and if you are confident to do so. So recommended ways would be tongs, like kitchen tongs. You can just pick it up, carry it away. If it's non-venomous and you are okay with getting potentially bit, just pick it up. Depends on the type of snake. You can also use trash cans, 5-gallon buckets, a broom. You can just kind of sweep it into a bucket. If you have any kind of long-handled, like you can just carry it around. So I would only recommend this if it's indoors. If it's in your house, you need to be in that space. If it's venomous, always call a professional if it's indoors. Don't try to handle it yourself. And then if it's outdoors, again, the best option is just to leave it be. Leave him alone, he'll go away. And then this one, remove it, is also applicable to pools. If you identify that it's a venomous snake and it's in your pool, you can put in like some type of, like the brush, and just leave it half out, half in, and they can use that like a ladder to get up out of your pool. They also sell on like Amazon and other places wildlife safe pool bridges. So it floats on the surface of the water and has a little bridge that frogs, snakes, turtles, anything, mammals that might end up in your pool can get out of the pool on their own, and you don't have to do anything with it. So you can check those out too. Do what? Yes, so scrap lumber, spare boards, anything that you can put in there that'll stay and you can just like leave it will work just fine. So then the safe wildlife viewing distance is typically on something as big as a snake. You want to be able to cover it with your entire hand. So if you're like out on a trail and you see a snake and you want to hang out with it for a minute and just look at it, be able to cover the entire thing with your whole hand. For something much larger, like let's say deer or bison, it's your thumb. If you can't cover that animal with your thumb, you're too close. So snakes are going to be your hand. All right, so identifying snakes, especially here in North Texas, there's a couple of different things that you can do. One is this really cool app that you can download. It's called Seek, and it's run by something called iNaturalist. That's another app you can download as well. iNaturalist are people in the science field that are taking pictures of wildlife, uploading it to a database, and then it's being confirmed about what it is so that we can track where animals are. It's really, really cool if you're into wildlife or you like to be outside in nature trails. You can be like, hey, what animals or plants have been seen here? And then go find those. So Seek is a version of that. You can take a live photo or video with your phone. It'll act like a scanner, and it'll scan whatever it is you're looking at and tell you what it thinks it is. And then you can upload it into iNaturalist after. They have like challenges and badges, and you can win like little virtual awards. It's a lot of fun. Another one is this handy, guys. Anybody ever seen one of these? Anyway? They sell them in most grocery stores. It's a field guide, so you can open that thing up, and it's going to have all the snakes in your area and teach you how to tell the difference and like the identifying marks, things of that nature. So you can buy those, like I said, at pretty much any like grocery store. So I'm going to teach you a couple of tricks, and these tricks are strictly for Texas snakes. They may not apply everywhere in the US, and they definitely don't apply everywhere in the world. So store this knowledge, but again, it's for Texas snakes. Okay? So one of those is going to be head shape. All the venomous snakes in Texas, with the exception of the coral snake, have a diamond or triangular shaped head. Now some snakes, like the rat snake or the water snake, can puff out their heads to make it look like that, but naturally resting, if you can see, there's a good triangle shape there, no triangle shape there. This is going to be that harmless water snake, and that's a venomous cottonmouth on the top. So that triangle shaped head. Another one with our coral snake there. Does anybody know the rhyme to remember if it's a coral snake or not? You might have been taught it. Yeah. Red and yellow kill a fellow. Red and black, friend of Jack. So if red and yellow are touching each other, it's a coral snake. It's the only snake that applies to. Everything else, king snakes, milk snakes, and a couple other species are going to have black and red touching, and that's, again, friend of Jack. So lastly, rattle. That applies to all the rattlesnakes. I think there's like 14 species in the US. You have your pupils, so your round pupil, and then your vertical slit pupil. Hopefully you're not that close to begin with, but if you're able to get a really good picture, you might be able to tell what kind of pupil it's got. And the last one are going to be heat-sensing pits on the front of their face. Again, hopefully you're not that close, but if it's got heat-sensing pits, it's venomous. You should probably take a step back, cover it with your whole hand, and then walk away, right? So if you guys have any questions, I'm over here with a bunch of stuff you can touch, including a 14-foot python skin. I'm happy to answer them. I love snakes. I love everything about them. But that's all I have for you, and hopefully you feel prepared going into the spring and summer season with your snake populations.
Thank you, Taylor. For the next bit, I'm going to bring up Dr. Chen from the police department. She is our public relations chair for ACE, and she will introduce our next performers.
Thank you, Brandon. I'm honored to be here and to have the privilege to introduce two incredible performances. Our first performance is a pipa solo. The pipa is a traditional Chinese string instrument with a rich history spanning over 2,000 years. Known for its expressive tones and intricate finger techniques, it plays a vital role in Chinese classical music. We are delighted to welcome Dr. Yu Xingmei, a distinguished pipa virtuoso, educator, and the founding director of the UNT Chinese Ensemble. Dr. Mei holds a PhD in ethnomusicology from UNT and was awarded the Silver Award at the 2024 Global Music Award and first place in traditional Chinese instrument performance at the Zhuhai International Music Festival. Today, she will perform two beautiful pieces for us. Before she begins, I'll let her share a few words about the music.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me here, and we can celebrate a Chinese New Year together. I'm Yu Xinmei. This is pipa, my instrument. The two pieces I'm gonna play, the first one is the golden dancing snake. You know, this year, the year of a snake. Snake, this animal in Chinese culture symbolize change, but of course, good change, right? I hope all of you have good promotions, salary raising, and good health in the year of the snake. The first one is golden dancing snake. The microphone is too high. I will try my best to play louder, okay? The second piece is called White Snow in Sunny Spring. This piece is pretty old, and more than 3 years old long. But it sounds like Chinese rock and roll. I hope you like it.
Dr. May, thank you for that extraordinary performance, truly beautiful and powerful. And now for our next act, we present an exhilarating, face-changing performance from Sichuan opera. Chinese opera is a cherished art form, weaving together music, movement, and expression to tell captivating stories. Among the many regional styles, Sichuan opera is renowned for its vibrancy and energy. Today, we are thrilled to showcase one of its most mesmerizing traditions, face-changing. Recognized as a national intangible cultural heritage in 2006, this tradition has captivated audiences worldwide. We are honored to welcome Ms. Pei Yi from the esteemed Chengdu Shuxitang Lei family troupe, who will bring this ancient art to life before our eyes. Prepare to be amazed. Enjoy the magic of face changing.
Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us and participating. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the food is served. Again, thank you very much.